I don't regret walking the Camino de Santiago, but after 31 days and 800 kilometers, I did make a few mistakes. And I would love to share those mistakes with you so that you don't have to make them for yourself. Redo You, the podcast that teaches you tools and strategies so you can build the confidence to rediscover and reinvent yourself. With me, Emma Hull, your favorite life coach. Each week, I'll introduce a concept that you can implement right away so you can live your most authentic life. Let's get started. Got my list here. My number one mistake that I made on the Camino de Santiago was overestimating my capacity. I read the guidebooks, I looked at all kinds of videos, did my research, did a lot of training, and I planned my route. But when I actually got boots on the ground, the reality was I couldn't walk the distances that I thought I could in a day. And so I had to really recalculate that. I was planning on doing 35K days, whereas in reality, 20 to 25 was my sweet spot. My second mistake that I made on the Camino, and this is a very common one, was my pack was way too heavy. Again, I had trained extensively. I had done a 4 or 5 days backcountry trips in British Columbia, carrying a pack, camping. I had like over 30 pounds and was doing long days in the Rocky Mountains. And so I thought that it would be easy once I got to Portugal and started walking. Not the case. So even with a 20-pound pack, I found that that was too heavy. Whatever you are planning on taking, ditch it. You don't need it. You literally just need your hiking clothes and another set of clothes to wear in the evening and to bed. It's the same set of clothes. Your pajamas are your evening clothes. Really, really pare it down. My third mistake that I made walking the Portuguese Camino was hiking boots. Again, I'd been wearing these boots. They were comfortable. They were great. I've trained in them for miles. But when I got on the ground in Portugal and started walking, the ground was so hard, whether I was on pavement or concrete or boardwalks or just on the parched earth. They were too hard. My feet, my knees, my hips were in so much pain. By the time I got to Santarém, I actually had to go to Decathlon and buy a pair of running shoes. Now, different Caminos have different conditions, so do research and figure out what is going to be best for you. But my hiking boots definitely did not serve me at all on the Portuguese Camino. My fourth mistake, meal planning. Oh my goodness. Stores open late. So in the morning, especially like in Portugal, supermarkets open at about 8. You get to Spain, they don't open till 9 in the morning. And sometimes cafes as well aren't opening until 8, 9. So I learned very quickly that you need to buy whatever you want for breakfast the night before so that you have it, because I loved starting early. I loved being on the trail to watch the sunrise as I was walking on the Camino. But in order to do that, you need to have some fuel in your body. And then again, lunch times, you got to figure out if you are going to be in a town around lunchtime or not. Because if you're not, you need to buy food and take it with you. Restaurants don't just stay open all day. They open for lunch and then they close and open again for dinner. Or those cafes that are open, they might open, say, at 9, but then they close at 2 and they aren't open in the afternoon. So really take care of that. And then in the evening, oh my goodness, again, Portugal I thought was bad. It's like 7 o'clock to go to a restaurant for dinner. Spain, some of the restaurants don't open till 9 p.m. I go to bed at 9 p.m. So again, you need to figure that out. Usually at home, I eat my main meal in the evening, but what I ended up doing sometimes was actually eating my main meal at lunchtime and then just grabbing some stuff from the supermarket for supper. Evening energy, that leads into that. I thought that I'd have energy to do things in the evening. I did not. Once I got to whatever town I was heading to, it was literally a case of getting into the albergue, having a shower, doing my laundry. Maybe, I did my journal each day, and then really just ready for bed. I was asleep most nights by 8 p.m. Number 6. My 6th mistake that I made on the Camino de Santiago. I love you, Ivor and Lee. Walking with other people. I love Ivor and Lee. I walked with them for 4 days. It was amazing and it was really great. And if I hadn't walked with them, I wouldn't have known how much I preferred walking on my own. And that's something you're going to have to figure out for yourself. And really the only way is to try it and find out. What I loved about walking with my Camino family was the camaraderie. We had great conversations. The days went so much faster and loved that. It was great to share those experiences, and I've made lifelong friends. But I found that I love looking at like little things like caterpillars, leaves, whatever along the way. And talking to other people just pulled me out of that. And also I've been working so hard on my Portuguese, whereas being with other people and speaking English, I became a bit lazy with my Portuguese. So if I were to do the Camino again, I would do it all on my own. And I knew that once I arrived in Porto, said goodbye to the guys, and I knew I didn't want to walk with anyone else for the rest of my Camino. So you guys get to be my only Camino family ever. Next one, oh my goodness, who here is using ChatGPT to plan your Camino de Santiago? I love ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT a lot. And I use ChatGPT to plan some parts of my Camino. It sucks. Do not listen to it. The distances it gives you are completely wrong. Use it for some elements of research, but do not ask the Camino to plan you a schedule from Porto to Santiago, for example, or like I did to get me from Santiago to Finisterre. And it made it sound like it was going to be a breeze, but it ended up having a 42-kilometer day, a 39-kilometer day. It was insane. Do not use ChatGPT to plan your Camino. Research, watch videos, read books, read blogs, reach out to people. If you'd like, I did a daily or weekly email with my daily diary of my Camino, walking all the way from Lisbon to Santiago and then out to Finisterre. Drop me a message and I will send you those emails and you can read what it was actually like. Don't trust ChatGPT. Buffer days. Yes, I regret not having left more space at the end of my Camino to be able to process and integrate. I ended up actually adding on 3 days, and so of my walking, which would have been integration days. So it is what it is, but don't plan your Camino so that you're going to be arriving in Santiago and then flying out the next day or the day after. Give yourself more time so that you can actually really integrate all the amazing things. Do not get hung up on your route. So number 9 in my list of my mistakes for the Camino was getting fixated on a route. And from Lisbon to Porto, it's easy. There is only one route. So, I mean, you can go via Fatima. Some people go via the coast, but that really isn't actually an established Camino. It's essentially the one route. But then from Porto to Santiago, I had in mind a route that I wanted to do the central route, but then I changed my mind and I wanted to do the coastal route. And it was really nice to be able to have that flexibility to change. do not book your Camino and have everything booked out each day. Don't book your Camino with an agency that has planned each day for you. Allow yourself that time and that space to be able to change your route, to be able to take a rest day, to be able to walk further one day than you thought, less one day than you thought, spend more time in a town than you thought. When I left Porto, I walked up the coast for 4 days. And then when I hit the River Minho, I headed inland, walked up to Valencia, and then from there, headed up onto the central route. Give yourself that flexibility. Do not commit to one route. My 10th mistake that I made when I was walking the Camino de Santiago was not having done enough research. I wish that I had read more about the different towns that I would be visiting along the route. And luckily I figured this out at Tomar. As I was walking into Tomar, I started researching it. I did use ChatGPT for that. And I learned that it's where the Knights Templar were based for a long time. And that's something that fascinates me. And so I ended up walking around Tomar Castle with my too heavy pack on in the heat. Whereas if I had, because my next stop was several hours further away. Whereas if I had known how fascinating Tomar was, I would have planned an overnight there. So do a little bit of research into the different places. There's some amazing places, like the obvious ones like Coimbra obviously is incredible, but there's also, I can't remember the name of it now, but this Roman ruins that are just incredible. Look into it. Think about what are the things that you're interested in, and find them along the route. And then here's a bonus one. My 11th mistake that I made when I was walking the Camino de Santiago is I had planned to meet up with my lover in Porto and for us to spend a week together, which was incredible and wonderful and amazing. We had this incredible 5-star time together, went to the Douro Valley, went out to incredible restaurants. But then getting back on the Camino, going back to my hostels, getting back into my daily rhythm was it was a challenge. In a way, I mean, it was kind of neat because it sort of made it like a second Camino, because I was starting again. But if I could turn back time, I would not have taken a break. I would have just kept going all the way from Lisbon to Porto to Santiago to Finisterre, and then met up with him and had that luxury vacation. So if you're watching this, you're probably planning to do a Camino yourself, and I love that for you. This is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, they weren't terrible mistakes. I'm not beating myself up for it. Walking the Camino is a learning experience, and that's part of the beauty of it. But if you would like coaching and support to help you figure out what you want to experience on the Camino and how to create that for yourself, I would love to work with you. So reach out. You can go to my website, lifeuntethered.com, send me a message, emma@lifeuntethered.com, or hit me up. My Instagram is thelifeuntethered. You can check out my daily stories there from the Camino. Like I said, let me know if you want my emails from the journey. And if you would like coaching so that you can walk your Camino your way, feeling confident and empowered, I would love to help you. So send me a message. Bon Camino.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Redo You podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review, and tell a friend, because together we rise even higher. See you next Friday.